By 4:45 GMT, the airports and airspace had reopened and closure notices posted on a US Federal Aviation Administration database had been removed.
US officials told foreign media earlier today that an Israeli missile has hit Iran. Iranian media said that blasts were heard in the central province of Isfahan and flights were suspended over several cities. Iran is on high alert after Israel said it would respond to an Iranian attack against it on the 13th of April 2024, and Israel has not yet commented on the attack on Iran. Jama Ratnayaka and Kenza Farooq brings us a comprehensive report.
Jama, taking a look at some news that Sri Lanka woke up to, and US media had reported that Israel had launched an airstrike on Iran this morning. So what exactly happened in this situation?
Certainly, Kenza, as more than 6 months have passed by since the Gaza war started, today there was one of the most recent developments in a new tension that has been brewing since the start of this month. And US media reported that Israel had launched an attack on a site in Iran. However, it is noteworthy that neither Iran nor Israel had released an official statement of a possible strike or a strike that had been launched on Iranian soil. But Iranian media did say that explosions were heard in the Isfahan city, which is situated in the center of Iran and not the capital city of Tehran, which we will discuss in a minute as well. And according to the Iranian news agency, air defense missiles were activated following that development.
Now, Jama, like you said, we'll talk about the fact that why Tehran wasn't targeted but Isfahan. Could you tell us why did they target Isfahan and not Tehran, which is the capital of Iran?
Certainly, Kenza. So if we take a look at the map behind us, you can see that Isfahan is situated in the center of Iran and Tehran is situated further towards the east of the country. However, Isfahan is an important location. It's not a nuclear city. However, there are several nuclear related sites in the Isfahan city, and the Isfahan city is also a historic city in the country of Iran. It is also worthy of mentioning that the nearby city of Natanz is one of Iran's nuclear enrichment sites.
Now, Jamal, as we learn why Isfahan was targeted, let's take a look at the current situation right now at Isfahan.
Iranian media reported that the central city of Isfahan is completely calm and secure. According to a live television report, people are going on with their normal lives. The report, however, said that sounds were heard over the city in Isfahan hours earlier, adding that several miniature UAVs were shot down.
So, Jamal, as we know, when airstrikes are struck, civil airspace is disrupted, and most of the time the airspace is closed. So, could you tell us now the situation here between Israel and Iran? What is the situation of the airspace?
Certainly, Kenza, following this recent development and reports of the possible strike by Israel on Iran, Iran closed its airports in Tehran, Shiraz and Isfahan, and it also cleared the airspace to the west of the country. That should be mentioned, which was after a few hours after the attack. By 4:45 GMT, the airports and airspace had reopened and closure notices posted on a US Federal Aviation Administration database had been removed. Before the airports reopened, Flydubai said it had cancelled its Friday flights to Iran. One of its earlier flights turned back to Dubai. An Iran Air flight from Rome to Tehran was diverted to Ankara, Turkey. According to flight tracking data, Emirates, Flydubai, Turkish Air, Wizz Air Abu Dhabi and Belavia were among the carriers continuing to fly over the part of Iran's airspace that remained open in the initial hours after the attack earlier today.
Now, Jaima, there's obviously something that transpires the attack between Iran and Israel. So how did this happen? What was the root cause, or what was the cause of the attacks between Iran and Israel?
Certainly, Kenza, to trace the root cause between the back and forth attacks between Israel and Iran, you have to go back to the 1st of April this year, when Israel attacked the Iranian consulate in Damascus, Syria, killing some of its top officials that were attached to the IRGC, which is the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps. As a retaliation, on the 13th of April, which was last week, Iran attacked Israel with 330 missiles and drones. However, most of them were intercepted by Israel and with the support of its allied forces, including the US and UK. However, thereafter, Israel had said that there will be another retaliation from their part against Iran, and that is said to be why this particular attack took place today.
Iran's official IRNA news agency said a series of explosions in Syria targeted military sites. IRNA said attacks struck Adra and Al-Tala military airport and a radar battalion located between the city of Adra and the village of Karfa in southern Syria.
Oil and gold prices have jumped after US officials said an Israeli missile had struck Iran. Brent crude, the international benchmark for oil, rose to over $90 a barrel after reports emerged of the attack by Israel before falling back when Iran sought to downplay the significance. Gold briefly came close to a record high before settling below $2,400 an ounce. There are concerns a worsening conflict in the Middle East could disrupt oil supplies. Kenza, this conflict not only affects the two countries that are currently at loggerhead, namely Israel and Iran. We know that when it comes to Sri Lanka, there are many Sri Lankan expatriates who are employed in Iran, Israel, and also surrounding countries that are in the Middle Eastern and West Asian region. So, what sort of an effect will an escalating tension between these two countries have on workers and employees, Sri Lankan citizens who are residing and also engaged in employment there, and what sort of an effect will it have on foreign remittances? How important are foreign remittances at this point to Sri Lanka?
So Jamal, taking a look at numbers, now when you take a look at Israel, there's 8,000 Sri Lankans residing in Israel, and when you look at Saudi Arabia, where 194,000 Sri Lankans are residing, and in Jordan it's 12,500, and in Lebanon it's about 80,000 people, Sri Lankans residing in Israel. Now, it is very important that we know that in 2022, the Workers' Remittance Report by the CBSL said that Sri Lanka's workers' remittance income was at 3.8 billion US dollars. Now, out of this 3.8 billion US dollars, we also need to know that Sri Lankans who left Sri Lanka to go work
migrant workers
in other countries, the report also said that 85% of these migrant workers were from the Middle East.
So 85% of migrant workers who left Sri Lanka to engage in employment overseas were centered around the Middle Eastern region. This is according to a 2022 report released by the Central Bank of Sri Lanka. But Kenza, this tension, all of these developments are coming against a backdrop where the president of Iran, Ibrahim Raisi, is set to arrive in Sri Lanka on the 24th of April to inaugurate the Oya Multipurpose Development Project, which was initially commenced through a fund that was granted to Sri Lanka by Iran.
Yes.
However, the latest developments and the scenarios that have unfolded have somewhat raised concerns as to whether the Iranian president will in fact arrive in Sri Lanka, but Newsfirst will in fact keep our viewers posted on the latest developments and the updates that transpire, and also the possible visit of the Iranian president to Sri Lanka. Stay tuned to Newsfirst. We will bring you the latest happenings from Sri Lanka, the region, and also the ongoing conflicts and the tensions that are brewing between Israel and Iran, and also the conflict that is occurring in the Gaza Strip.